Okay, welcome back to Continue Freedom. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard. Thanks so much for being here. So I've got a little shout out. Well, first off, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, the notification bell, all that good stuff. Leave comments below. And I've got a disclaimer that I put, not a disclaimer, it's a request that I put in my last video, and I'm going to put it in the next couple of videos. But if you're a podcaster, first off, and you don't have to be talking about politics and current events and that sort of thing. If you're interested in talking about other stuff, let me know, because I would love to have somebody that I'm growing alongside other people. It doesn't have to be one individual, but multiple podcasts. I really want to get into the collaboration side of this. And sitting here talking in front of a camera is fun, and informing people is fun, but doing it with other folks, other points of view, even opposing points of view, that's something that I'm also very interested in. So if you've got a podcast, if you're small, up and coming, or you're bigger and you just like my content, I'd love to do something on a more regular basis with some of the great folks that are out there making stellar content every single week. So let's go ahead and get into the first topic. Joy Reid. Okay, everybody's favorite lefty. Joy Reid went on, I don't know whose podcast this is. It was posted by Libs of TikTok, and in this Libs of TikTok post, Joy Reid has now become an election denier. Let's listen to this. It's really funny.
Stealing an election. And it's making me rethink whether I do believe like election machines can be hacked. Because I've always been like, you can't hack the election machines, but they're like convincing me, I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, to me in this world, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
There are all these conspiracy theories out there about Trump and whether or not they cheated. I know you say that they didn't, but I know you kind of have
Wait a minute. I didn't say they didn't. What I said is there is a rational explanation for why Kamala Harris could have lost those swing states and Trump won them.
Yeah, that rational explanation is that Kamala Harris was an atrocious presidential candidate, the fakest that we've had in my lifetime, probably in the history of presidential races. In the history of our nation, she was one of the worst, or the worst. But yeah, they just can't fathom that. Why would swing states, middle Americans, not want to vote for Kamala Harris? It just doesn't pass the smell test to them. So they turn to the voter fraud, and the machines were hacked. Listen to this.
The way you can get to those numbers with people staying home or only voting for Trump and not the rest of the ballot. I'm saying there's a history of that. However,
let me hear it, because
what I will say is there was absolute voter suppression that took place, and I consider that cheating. If you think about the voter law in your state of Georgia, that law is anti-voter. When you have bomb threats only in Fulton County, we don't know how many people stayed home out of fear because of the bomb threats in Fulton County. When you have Elon Musk waving around $1 million checks in order for people to vote for Trump.
Okay. This is the thing they go on to do, is they go on to talk about the oligarchs. There's a whole segment on MSNBC on her show where, by the way, she took a massive, massive pay cut. She had to take a massive pay cut because they're not getting any viewership. The election shuts down and everybody's squawking about Donald Trump. Well, that people just ignored them, went out and voted for Donald Trump. They're still trying to squawk about Donald Trump. Nobody wants to listen to him. And she took a massive pay cut and still has to come to work every week. But yeah, they're saying, oh, Elon Musk and handing out his money. The Elon Musk, this is the sign of the new oligarchs. Meanwhile, they look over the Reid, Reid Hoffman. They look over Reid Hoffman. They look over George Soros. No. Those aren't oligarchs. They're billionaires. Yeah, they're investing a massive amount of their fortune into politics. But we got to look at Elon Musk, because Elon Musk supports the wrong side. Oligarchs are okay, so long as they're on the left, not if they're on the right. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many things that were done that were nefarious, to put aside just the actual voter suppression in these anti-voter laws that kept people from registering, that messed up people's voter registration when they showed up and all of a sudden they're not on the rolls.
But that happens every year, right?
This is, by the way, they're talking about voter ID laws. Talking about voter ID laws. This messed up the whole process. Yeah, I'm sure it did. It messed up your process. It doesn't mess up our democratic process. It messes up your democratic process, which is the antithesis of a democratic process. It's one where non-citizens can vote. Yeah, I'm sure that threw a real wrench in the gears of your little
Every
operation.
all the
election.
time.
So yeah,
What
I
I'm
think things
talking
happen.
about are these conspiracy theories about Elon Musk, somehow using his tech connections, because I don't want to say genius because we know he's
Yeah,
not.
he ain't a genius.
But those relationships are
Okay. So you're telling me I would never claim to be a genius. These two ladies here squawking on the internet are claiming, oh, they know that Elon Musk isn't a genius. Elon Musk is catching 200-foot long rockets between two robotic arms, plucking them out of the sky like Mr. Miyagi in a set of chopsticks, which was what came from a post that Elon Musk made. He's snatching these rockets out of midair. He's got the most successful EV company in the world. He's got the app, the social media app that is the number one source for news in the world right now. And these two folks are sitting here squawking about, oh, now I'm not going to use the word genius because Elon Musk isn't a genius. I would love to know their definition of a genius. If you think it's Joy Reid, and I'm sure Joy Reid is conceited enough to think that she's the measuring stick. She's the barometer for what a genius is. You got to reach the Joy Reid level of intelligence to be hit as a genius, not send rockets into outer space, build EV companies, revolutionize battery storage, doing all these massive things that Elon Musk is doing. Nah, that doesn't take any real smarts.
or whatever, because they just seem too confident. And I know, and I'm not saying it was the voting machines or whatever. It just doesn't add up to me with all the support that she had. And I know that for you, and because of what happened with Fox and because what you do professionally with the network, you can't say it was the machines or something like that. But if you think it was the machines, but you can't say, just don't say anything.
So they're basically saying, oh, Elon Musk, the non-genius, was able to hack all the voting machines, and that's why. Now, if that had been said by a Republican any time in the past 8 years, you're a nut job, you're crazy, da 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 da. Well, I won't say in the past 8 years, in the past 4 years, after all the anomalies we saw in the 2020 election, now you see it. Now 2024, finally, it was too big to rig. But they can say it. This is golly, just the I don't know how people listen to these folks. Shrieking harpies on the internet, squawking about saying all the things that they have been chastising Republicans for saying. But look, here, I'll give you the upside of this. Maybe they realize, and maybe this, after Donald Trump, if they think that Donald Trump rigged the election, that it was Elon Musk hacking the machines, the non-genius Elon Musk, as they would label him, hacking the machines, maybe they'll go for paper ballots. After this loss, maybe this is our end to say, okay, look, we didn't like it in 2020. You didn't like it in 2024. Paper ballots, voter ID, it's clean across the board. How about that? Let's find a compromise. I don't think it's a bad idea. Do you guys think it's a bad idea? Let me know in the comments. I think it'd be brilliant. I'm going to hit let's go ahead and hit this next. This is a different article. It's kind of shifting gears here. No, let's not. I'm going to go to this next one. Sometimes I do these videos, and this one in particular, I'm just kind of pulling it out of, not out of thin air. I have a lot of things that I've read and that I've researched, and I just don't know which ones I want to use. And today is going to be one of those days. So, doesn't fit the mainstream media narrative. Latest Arctic ice data shows 26% larger than 2012. So this global warming, I saw a meme. I probably should have pulled it for this video, but I didn't. And that meme was, going back every 10 years, they gave us the scare. It was going to be holes in the ozone. Well, first we were going to have an ice age, then we were going to have, in 10 years, then we're going to have a hole in the ozone layer in 10 years. Then we're going to be cooking for the next, over the next 10 years. All the lakes are going to dry up. All the polar ice caps are going to melt. There's scare after scare after scare, and they came 10 years apart. So every 10 years, they give a new 10-year goal to bring this whole climate alarmism to the forefront of the mainstream media. And people like Joy Reid, the one we were looking at, she's bought into that, all this stuff, hook, line, and sinker. Anybody on the left has bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. And meanwhile, they shut the guy that founded the Weather Channel. He came on, it might have been CNN, I think it was on Brian Stelter's show. This was years ago. And he said, this is all an absolute hoax. I've spent my life studying the weather. This is garbage. This is terrible. And he's never been on, hadn't been on the TV since. He might be dead by now. I don't know. But climate realist Tony Heller took to X to highlight the climate misinformation and disinformation campaigns waged by far-left corporate media on the global public. Heller referenced a 2007 BBC News article titled "Arctic Summers Ice-Free by 2013," which warned readers of the supposed threat that latest modeling studies indicate northern polar waters could be ice-free in summers within just 5 to 6 years. The BBC article's baseline claim was designed to instill climate fears across the public to ram through a radical degrowth climate agenda across the Western world. That's a really great way to put it. This is from, I've already said this, but this is from Zero Hedge, which you got to follow Zero Hedge. They have some amazing articles. But this is anti-growth. This is part of look at the people who got presidential medals of freedom. Joy Reid sitting here talking about oligarchs. George Soros was awarded a medal. It was accepted by his son, Alex Soros, or Alexander, I don't know, whatever. He's Alex. Alex Soros accepted on his behalf. And then Jane Goodall, she's one of the biggest proponents of depopulation in the world. Not saying that she's actively doing it, but she is a person who said, if I could painlessly and quietly take out 7 billion people from the planet, I would do it. They're part of this cult. This is a straight up cult. But in order to reduce the human population, you got to have things like, experimental substances that people are putting in their bodies. You've got to have policies that slow progress, because you got to think, if the industrial base for countries like America are ground to a halt, or in Europe in some instances, if the industrial base in Europe is ground to a halt, if industrial bases in China, although China's not buying into any of this stuff, then you're talking about job loss, poverty in the developed world, but in the undeveloped world, you're talking about massive amounts of death. So this is an effort to, they're anti-growth. They have to be anti-growth. Scientists in the U.S. have presented one of the most dramatic forecasts yet of the disappearance of the Arctic sea ice. Their latest modeling studies indicate northern pole waters could be ice-free in summers within 5 to 6 years. Professor Wisław Maslowski told an American Geophysical Union meeting that previous projections had underestimated the processes now driving ice loss. Summer melting this year reduced ice cover to 4.3 million square kilometers, the smallest ever since its modern times. But they go on to say that actually, if you look at the ice, there is a growth in the amount of ice. This year, minimum Arctic sea ice extent was 26% larger than 2012. BBC News said the Arctic would be ice-free by 2013. So the lie has been repeated over and over and over and over again, and academia buys into this wholeheartedly, and there's someone who I love very dearly who would absolutely knock me upside the head for saying that. Someone I'm very close to, I will say a family member. But I've seen far too much data now that debunks it, and the people that are pitching it as, this is where it's going to be in the next 10 years, they're the ones that are funded by the people who want to drive that narrative, the depopulation narrative. It's really wild. But again, you can look at I wish I had that video. I guess I could see if I could find it. There's a video out there of in the Middle East. There's videos in other places where it shows the water year after year, satellite footage, satellite images, and the water has been unchanged. They're saying, the sea level's going to rise and this, that, and the other. And it hasn't. Sea level hasn't risen. But they want to slow down progress. In fact, the Department of Energy chair, the person who's going to be the head of the Department of Energy for Donald Trump, he was being questioned in front of Congress, and they were saying that one of the senators said, we are in a clean energy race with China. And he said, no, China's going to build 100 new coal plants this year. China is going to build 6 new nuclear powered plants this year. We're not in and these were his words, we're not in a clean energy race. We're in an energy race. But that doesn't fit into the narrative. That doesn't fit into the it's really authoritarianism that it takes to institute a climate agenda like this, the clean energy agenda, because you have to do away with petroleum. Petroleum is going to do away with plastics, with rubber, with automotive development, with your glasses, your the clothes that you're wearing. All of these things have plastics in them. You could talk about whether that's good or bad, but they are all use petroleum-derived products. And all this is just multiple uses for that liquid gold that comes out of the ground that we have in massive quantities, that Greenland has in large quantities too, should we get a hold of Greenland. And they don't think past that. They just think, oh, we'll do electric cars. Well, it's like the paper straws. They said, well, we got to use paper straws to protect the environment. And okay, paper straws, paper bags at the grocery store, but your meat is wrapped in plastic, your chips are wrapped in plastic, your gluten-free, kale chips are wrapped in plastic. Every single thing you buy in that grocery store, your tomatoes are wrapped in plastic. It's all wrapped in plastics. And yet they say, well, your bags, that's what we got to focus on. You got to suck your drink through a soggy cardboard straw filled with poisonous glue as opposed to sucking it through plastic. It's weird. It's really weird. And, I'll tell you what else is weird on that same note. So this is a patient at a Memphis hospital punches a nurse because she didn't want medical care from a white person. Seriously? People like Joy Reid have pushed this type of message. The underlying theme in all of Joy Reid's shows is evil white man, white man evil, white man bad, white man this, it's because of the white man, it's because of the white man, because of the white man. And when people watch that on a loop, this is the type of thing you get. I don't want a white person giving me any medical care. So a 26-year-old Memphis woman was arrested on Christmas Eve after allegedly assaulting a nurse at Methodist South Hospital, stating she did not want to be treated by a white attendant. And this is, you might think this is a one-off, oh, that's silly. No. I could pull up boatloads of videos of black people openly talking hateful about white people in public. Everybody's got a multimedia device in their pocket. You got a cell phone in your pocket and all this stuff gets recorded. I could show you tons and tons and tons of video on it. But the incident occurred on Tuesday when the woman, Deshauna Williams, reportedly punched a nurse in the face with a closed fist while receiving treatment at the hospital. According to law enforcement, Williams admitted to striking the nurse because of her race. Officers reported to the scene and took Williams into custody. She had been charged with assault. They noted that Williams is believed to have mental health conditions, and crisis intervention team officers were present at the Yeah, I'll tell you what the mental health dilemma is. Okay, you've got everybody's got depression or anxiety or whatever. Your mental health problem is that you're a bigot. That's your problem. You're a racist. You could call that a mental health problem, but you're a racist. I don't care what color, what shade you are. If you dislike someone simply based on the amount of melanin in their skin, you are racist. Period. It accounts for Joy Reid. It accounts for this lady. It accounts for a white person who doesn't like a black person. If you don't like somebody because of the color of your skin, you're a bigot. You are a racist, and that's not good. She is being held on a $50,000 bond, and I guess her last court date has already happened. So this is an older story, but I came across it and I had to share it with you guys. So this is you can stem all this from Joy Reid and people of her ilk. Wow. All right, well, that's all I had to share with you. I thought you might find it entertaining. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. God bless you. God bless America. Before you go, if you're still here, make sure that you hit that like button, that you hit that subscribe button, that you hit that notification bell, and that you leave comments below. And I will see you guys in the next episode.